Hi, welcome to another video today. So let's start off with our quote of the day. It's going to be Luke chapter 23 verse 34. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." And they divided up his clothes by casting lots. Okay, so that's our quote of the day, and what we will be covering today is publishing a module to the Powershell gallery. So let's get started. Alright, so let's I'm not gonna actually do the actual publishing, but I'll show you the steps. So let's go through like what we have to do here. So first, so what is the module? So what does it mean by publishing a module to the PowerShell gallery? So if you watch our previous videos, or if you know about modules, like when you kind of downloaded and installed modules, one of the repositories for like PowerShell modules is like PowerShell gallery, and that's like considered like a main repo where you could just get some ready-made customized modules, and you could contribute to that as well, which is what we're talking about in terms of publishing. So pretty much what it is, so if you go to the website, if you want to check it out, is www.powershellgallery.com, and you could sign up for an account. So before we do that, so let's say you want to publish your own module that you made and you just want to share it with everybody else. So what you need to do is you need to kind of have your modules structured in a specific way. So you have to ensure that your modules are properly structured in a folder. So you create that folder, and then inside your folder, that's where you'll put in your files. So for example, I'll just say folder, and then inside that folder you would want to put your PowerShell module file. So normally it's your file.psm1. So what is that? That's the module script file, that psm1. And then also you would need to put in that same folder the manifest file. So the manifest file will be something like this file dot I think it's psd1, and that's your manifest, that's the module manifest file. So I'll just call it module manifest file. Just trying to make it, so pretty much you just have to make sure you kind of name the file whatever you want it to be, and then you put your modules in there, ending with these extensions. And this one is our script file, so that will be the PowerShell module script file. So that's ps module script file. Okay, so once you do that, so after you did all your development and stuff and you created these files and put it in a folder, now sometimes you may have other files you want to accompany with it. So if you have other resources, I don't know, it could be like a text file, it could be some sort of encrypted file, some sort of whatever resources that has some sort of dependency on it. That's where you would need to put those files in the same folder that your module requires. So it's if you build something that doesn't require any sort of dependencies like that, well then you're good to go. So I'll just put other scripts or resources that the module depends on. You will need to include it in the folder as well. Alright, so now that you have all your files and in that one folder, so the next step is alright, well let's say let's say if you wanted to create the I didn't really show you how to create a manifest file, so we'll go through that now. I'll show you the command to use. So assuming that you already have your we covered like how to create a PSM file before. So if you want to create your own, that's like creating a module file. So now let's say you want to create a manifest for that module file. So this is the command that you'll be using. It'll be new, put it here. So it'll be new dash module manifest, and then the path. Oops. All right, and then and this will be the path to your module file that you have on your machine. And just remember, you got to name it to a .psd1. So this is what the manifest file will be generated as, whatever this part to the module, and I mean the part to your where you want the manifest file to be generated. Sorry. Okay, and now you're gonna this part here where you're gonna declare this parameter root module. So this is where you would need to declare the path to the actual PSM1 script that you created, module that you created. So path to module.psm1. Okay. And then what you're going to do next is, so we're going to need to put another parameter. Now this is where you kind of like put a little more description about your module. So it'll be like author, maybe Johnny, and obviously that'll be in quotes as well. So sorry. And then you put a description of your module. So it'll be a description. All right, and then I don't know, like to sum up two numbers or something like that. Something to be kind of descriptive, so that when you see your module, you actually know what the module will do when it's in the repo. All right, and then obviously you would want to test your module to make sure. So this is when you run this command. So we'll just go with the command again. It'll be new dash module manifest dash the path to where you want the module manifest file to be generated, and then you'll do a dash root module and this path to the actual PSM1 file, which is your module file that you created. And then for that, you'll just declare the author and whatever name you want to put there, or company name, and then you put the description to kind of describe what your module does. Okay, so once you kind of like run that command, it'll create the module file, and that's what you'll put as part of your you put as part of the files that you put in that folder that you want to upload later on. All right, and then obviously you got to make sure before you do all this, make sure you test your module and make sure everything works fine before you actually run this, because you're going to be actually trying to share it. So you would want to definitely do your testing way before. And how you test that, obviously you do like import module, and we covered this in previous videos. You could go back to those, and then what your module name is, and you just run it, and then just make sure you do a lot of extensive testing, so that way when you upload it, there won't be any errors. So now what do we do next? Now, since you have everything in this folder now, and you tested it and so on, the next step is to sign up in the PowerShell gallery. So you want to sign up for an account. So you go back to your PowerShellGallery.com, and you would want to sign up. I wouldn't cover it here, but you could sign up for an account here, and then what it will do is it'll generate an API key for you, and that API key is what you would need for like publishing. All right, so and what do you need to do for uploading? So that's where you would need to install the module PowerShell get, and I can show you that command that you need to run. So you may have it already, but if you don't, you just have to run the install module command and then dash name, and this will be the PowerShell get. Okay, and then you will want to put a dash force if you just kind of like want to override if you want to upgrade it or just refresh it. And then you could put a scope there if you need to. It could be all users, current user, and I'll just put current user for now. And that's pretty much it. So that will install the module for where you could use the command to actually upload your, to publish your module. So now since you've got that going and you have the PowerShell get module installed, and now you have your API key as well, and you signed up for the account in the PowerShell gallery. Now you would need to run this command now. So now you're ready to actually do the upload after you do the following steps above. Maybe I should have put sign up to PowerShell gallery. Oops, sorry. .com and save the API key. Alright, so now this is the step you need to do to actually publish it. So you do publish dash module. Oops, I made a mistake there. So you do publish that module, and then you do dash path, and then you put the path to the module. So that'll be path to the module. So that'll be, I guess that could be, yeah, I think that's the folder. You put the module folder there. And then you put this is important, so it'll be NuGet API key. And this is the API key that you got from when you signed up for the PowerShell gallery. API key goes here. Alright, so what it's doing now, so that's it. So what you're doing here is you're going to do publish, oh, I spelled this wrong, of course. Sorry about that. So it's a publish module, and then you're going to select the path to where your module folder is, right? And then you set the parameter NuGet API key, and that's where you put the API key in, and that will upload it. So once it's uploaded, you're pretty much good to go, and you could just verify your module by doing a find module dash name. So if you're gonna, so when you connect to the, well, normally if you set your PowerShell gallery as your default repo, you just have to do this, and then you can run this command and then dash name and your actual module name, and then that way you'll know everything went fine. So that way you're actually pulling it from the PowerShell gallery. Now there's some considerations you want to do. Make sure you do this before. I forgot to mention. Obviously, some common considerations, you'll kind of make sure the dependencies, which we kind of talked about a little bit, to like ensure the dependencies are specified like in the PSD1. So that file, remember, it's kind of like it's a manifest file, and then you tell like if you have any extra resources or dependency modules that you'll declare it in that dependency file. So what I will do is I'll kind of like help download those while you're doing the install module on your machine. That manifest will gives it instructions, hey, I need to get these additional modules as well. So that's why it's important when you're declaring that. You can do some more research on that and how to do that properly. I won't cover everything. This is just pretty much a kind of very simplified video that we're doing on a high level and not going too much detail in. Now, obviously, you could cover versioning as well in there. You have to. I would recommend covering versioning in there. So that's kind of like what is versioning? It's kind of increment the version number in like your .psd1. Like you do that before each upload. So why you would want to do that? Because so that way on the PowerShell gallery, everybody could see, hey, I have this version 1, version 2, or version 1.0, and then version 1.1, something like that. And that way, everybody will know this is my latest changes. And why you want to version it? Because if somebody's using your older version, and you don't want to break that functionality, so it's always good to keep incrementing with new versions. So if I did, let's say, I wanted to upload again, so I would kind of go in that manifest file and increment the version number in there, and then upload again. So when you're searching in the PowerShell gallery, you would see I would have two versions, and so on, and then and say, okay, I want to pick the newer version, etc. All right, and then I guess the last consideration you want to make sure of is your error handling. So if you can encounter errors like verify, your module adheres to the Powershell gallery requirements. So just make sure you go through the gallery requirements and make sure you're meeting all those requirements. And obviously, the module name has to be unique. So if somebody else used the same module name that you had, it's not going to allow you to kind of upload. So just make sure you using like a unique module name when you want to do this, and make sure your dependencies are properly resolved. So sometimes you have to put the full path to your dependencies and how you link them in your modules. Just make sure you're doing it and not just kind of hard coding it to a specific folder on your machine, because you got to remember when you upload to the Powershell gallery, you have to kind of think of like maybe another person who wants to download your module. So you kind of have to have considerations in terms of, okay, I'm going to download that module. No, I'm not going to see if I have its C program files, blah, blah, blah. That has to be kind of like a dynamic path where it has to pull it from somewhere else, or you kind of give it a generic location. But just make sure there are some examples out there kind of shows you how to do that correctly. So you just have to look up for that. So those are considerations you have to kind of like when you have to kind of like make sure you keep in mind when you're actually building a module. And it's fun, and then you kind of create something that contributes out there to the internet. So yeah, and obviously that's about it. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I appreciate everybody watching the videos and giving the likes and subscribing. It's pretty encouraging, so thank you, and please keep up helping me out here. That'll be great. Alright, so let's close off with our quote of the day. It's going to be Luke chapter 23 verse 34. Jesus said, "Father, forgive me, for they do not know what they are doing." And they divided up his clothes by casting lots. Alright, don't forget to read your Bible, and if you're not going to a Bible-based church, try to find a good one, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.